Chapter 61 Modifying Memory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the same time, Tang Lu also came to the restaurant, found the innkeeper, and then took out 3 storage magic weapons that he had nothing to do and handed them to him. "Boss, this is the damage fee I'll pay you," he said loudly on purpose, attracting all the attention of the people in the restaurant to himself. How can this be so embarrassing, Master Soul Master?" The boss was hopefully flattered. "Why are you sorry? You deserve this." As soon as he finished speaking, green flame patterns appeared around Tang Lu's left eye. The next moment, he turned around and glanced at everyone in the restaurant, and all these ordinary people fell into a fantasy. After confirming that no fish had slipped through the net, Tang Lu used the illusion to change the colors of his soul rings in their memories into 2 yellow and 1 purple. This can be regarded as another effect of the psychedelic gaze he discovered. After finishing it, he released the illusion and took back the demon eyes. At this time, the hotel owner also said with a grateful face, thank you, Master Soul Master." Feeling the envious looks cast by the people around him towards his boss, Tang Lu also smiled, "It's okay, you deserve this." Then he stopped talking to them and walked outside. Outside, Xiao Wuji was stepping on Xiao with a bored look on his face. Seeing this, Tang Lu also ran over quickly, and then looked at the unconscious Xiao at Xiao Wuji's feet. TSK, Teacher Xiao, you are really ruthless," Tang Lu said with a smile. "This is also the first time I've discovered that it feels so good to beat someone without using martial arts," Xiao Wuji said. Knowing the reason, Tang Lu laughed out loud, and then he modified Xiao's memory in the same way, and then woke him up from coma. "Okay, Teacher Xiao, since you like beating people so much, why not beat him again?" After saying that, Tang Lu ran away with a smile. I don't have the time to spare. Go back to sleep." Xiao Wuji snorted and kicked Xiao casually, so Xiao screamed and flew out. Tang Lu still lived in the same room as Tang San. When he came back, Tang San didn't ask any more questions. He just expressed concern for him for a few words and then urged him to go to bed quickly. There was no words all night, and when the sun slowly rose from the east, Tang San and Tang Lu had already finished cultivating the purple demon eyes and were having breakfast downstairs. Soon, everyone from Shrek Academy came down one after another. When they saw each other, they all smiled and said hello. Of course, Ning Rongrong remained silent. When he saw them, he just nodded and said hello. Zhu Zhuqing still looked cold, but he would nod slightly to them after seeing them. Yesterday's battle made the distance between the 8 people much closer. After Xiao Wuji came down, the group of people embarked on the journey to the Star Dou Forest again, and arrived at the Star Dou Forest at about noon. Everything fresh in the forest made Tang San and Tang Lu clear their minds at the same time, feeling that the soul power in their bodies was much more active. The Star Dou Forest is the largest gathering place for soul beasts on the Douluo continent. About 2/3 of the area is within the Star Luo Empire, and the remaining 1/3 is within the Tiandou Empire. The boundary between the two countries is the least clear. The place, although most of the Star Dou Forest is within the Star Luo Empire, the Tiandou Empire has never admitted this. When they arrived at the Star Forest, Xiao Wuji asked them to stop, asked Oscar to prepare a large amount of sausages for everyone in advance, and told everyone not to go beyond the 20 meters around him before giving the order to set off again. Arriving in the Star Dou Forest again, Tang Lu felt inexplicably happy. Little Forney in his arms also poked his head out, looking at the familiar surroundings with a hint of nostalgia in his eyes. Also performing the same thing as Tang Lu was Xiao Wu. After Xiao Wu entered the Star Dou Forest, she felt as if she had returned home, jumping up and down, feeling indescribably happy. On the way forward, several people encountered a group of rodent weasels. Tang San naturally turned on the protagonist's speech mode, which made Tang Lu roll his eyes. Although he agreed with Tang San's statement in his heart, he just felt an indescribable sense of violation. After advancing about 300 meters, Xiao Wuji asked everyone to take a rest before starting on the road. After Dai Mubai used his tiger paw to clear an area for everyone to rest, he ate a few recovery sausages and sat down to rest, and Xiao Wu, who was originally very happy, now became listless. Leaning on Tang San's shoulder, silent, and just about half an hour later. Tang San and Zhao Wuji reacted at the same time, looking in the same direction. Seeing their movements, Tang Lu secretly said in his heart, "Here they come." Then he stood up and prepared to assist everyone in taking down the crested snake. "Get up, there's something approaching." As Zhao Wuji's shout rang out, Tang San and Dai Mubai acted very tacitly and took the lead to block the three assistants in the team. Xiao Wu, Zhu Zhuqing and Ma Hongjun were guarding the side. "Zhu Zhuqing, go and see what this is like." Zhao Wuji ordered in a deep voice. Zhu Zhuqing didn't say a word, and his martial spirit was released instantly. He quickly climbed up a big tree next to him and looked in the direction of the sound. Soon, her cold voice came over. "It seems to be a flying snake. But it doesn't fly high and can only fly about 3 meters above the ground. There is a fleshy crown on the head, which looks like it's bigger than the head and is as red as blood. The tail is special, it's fan-shaped." Zhao Wuji's eyes lit up and he said, "It's a crested snake. This kind of spirit beast is quite rare. Its fleshy comb stores a lot of nutrients and has many wonderful functions. Oscar, you are blessed, but you just don't know this. How old is this crested snake? Zhu Zhuqing, keep an eye on its direction and report to me immediately if there are any changes." "Yes, it is coming towards us, very fast. However, his body seems to be a little unbalanced," Zhu Zhuqing said. "How long is this phoenix-tailed cockscomb snake, and what color are its wings?" Tang San spoke at this moment. "The wings are light red and are about 6 to 8 meters long." Zhu Zhuqing replied. After a little calculation, Tang San came to a definite conclusion and said, "This is a 1,000-year-old crested snake. The light red wings are a sign of its 1,000 years of evolution. According to the length, it is 6 to 8 meters. Should be a cultivation level between 1,300 and 1,800 years. Oscar, is just right for you." Then he gave everyone some knowledge about the crested snake, and at the same time speculated on Oscar's third soul skill. Chapter 62, Phoenix-tailed cockscomb snake. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao San, you are simply an encyclopedia in the martial arts world. You are amazing, you are really amazing. Oscar's eyes were bright, with an expression of admiration. Except for Tang Lu and Xiao Wu, everyone else looked at Tang San with more or less changes. After all, Tang San's knowledge reserve was extremely astonishing in their opinion. Tang San said with some embarrassment, "This is all the result of my teacher. Since you know this kind of soul beast, what is the best way to capture this kind of soul beast?" After knowing Tang San's ability, Zhao Wuji couldn't help but ask. Tang San didn't hesitate at all. He immediately expressed his thoughts and at the same time arranged his tactics in a few words. Following Zhu Zhuqing's warning, the crested snake arrived. Zhu Zhuqing was the first to discover it and the first to rush out. Even though it was a 1,000-year soul beast, she didn't have the slightest fear, and directly greeted the phoenix-tailed cockscomb with another thrust. The phoenix-tailed cockscomb snake was obviously startled by the sudden appearance of Zhu Zhuqing. The snake twisted its body to avoid Zhu Zhuqing, who rushed towards its comb, allowing her netherworld thorn to hit itself, and then spat at her. He took a sip of colorful mist. Careful, seeing this, Dai Mubai's heart tightened, and he immediately used his most powerful soul skill, the White Tiger Vajra transformation, and rushed towards the phoenix-tailed cockscomb. The 7 treasures are famous, and the second one says, "Speed." At the same time, Ning Rongrong's assistance also fell on Dai Mubai, which immediately increased his speed by several levels. "Don't worry, the colorful mist it sprays is just to scare people and is not poisonous." While Tang San shouted, he also started to use his soul skills, preparing to restrain the phoenix-tailed cockscomb snake. The fat man on the other side also released his martial spirit. As soon as the breath of the phoenix came out, the phoenix-tailed crested snake was obviously a little more panicked. Tang Lu next to him was not idle either. Although he did not release his soul skills, he did release his own talent field, the Void Spirit Blue Emperor Field. A blue halo spread out from the soles of his feet, and wherever the blue halo passed, blue silver grass began to grow wildly. the one who felt it most intuitively was Dou San, who had the same bloodline as Tang Lu's martial spirit. Just as he was sensing it, his blue-silver grass seemed to suddenly become excited, as if he had seen a relative, and it suddenly became extremely tough. The most intuitive manifestation is that the phoenix-tailed crested snake, which was still able to shuttle through the entanglement of his blue-silver grass, was instantly unable to move. At this moment, Xiao Wuji's third, fourth, and fifth soul rings lit up at the same time. The increased gravity caused the cockscomb snake struggling in the blue-silver grass to pause. Positioning and tracking allowed Xiao Wuji to approach it in an instant, and the final gravity squeeze directly caused the crested snake to lose its ability to move. As expected of a soul sage, he almost killed the 1,000-year soul beast in one face-to-face encounter. Xiao Wuji pinched the head of the crested snake with his bare paw, and then said to Oscar, "Oscar, come here. Stab it from its fleshy crown and you can directly destroy its brain. After killing it, quickly absorb the spirit ring. To avoid long nights and too many dreams." Oscar excitedly took the short knife from Xiao Wuji and walked towards the crested snake. The hand holding the knife was trembling slightly. Yes, after all, after absorbing this soul ring, he is the soul master. How can he not be excited? Tang Lu glanced at Xiao Wu, who was not far away and looked a little pale and unbearable, and gently shook his head. He has no way to decide or change others, he can only make himself feel as at ease as possible, so he thought of borrowing the ring. Just when Oscar was about to raise his hand to stab the cockscomb, a hoarse voice suddenly came from the direction where the cockscomb appeared. "Stop!" Immediately afterwards, two figures jumped out from that direction and appeared in front of everyone. There are two people, one old and one young, both women. The old man looked about 60 or 70 years old, while the girl looked about 16 or 17 years old. It was Snake Pa Chao Tianxiang and her granddaughter Mengyiran. "What's the matter?" Xiao Wuji glanced at Chao Tianxiang. After all, the 7 best-matched soul rings on his body were not just decorations. Compared with him, the 6 soul rings on Chao Tianxiang looked much thinner, let alone Mengyiran, who only had 2 century-old soul rings beside her. "Dear soul saint, you cannot give this crested snake to this child," Chao Tianxiang said in a gentle tone. After all, if there was a fight, she would definitely lose miserably. Xiao Wuji pinched the crested snake with one hand, winked at Oscar, turned to Chao Tianxiang and said, "Why?" "Because we discovered and hunted this snake first, otherwise, how could we have tracked it here?" Chao Tianxiang said. "How do you prove it?" Oscar couldn't help but speak. After all, the soul ring he was about to receive was going to be robbed, and no one would feel comfortable if it happened to him. Chao Tianxiang smiled and said, "Young man, don't be anxious. Look at the belly of this crested snake. There are 2 scars on it. They were injured by me with a cane, and there are also scars on the underside of the wings. It's just an accident. Let it run away. This snake is very suitable for my granddaughter, she needs this spirit ring very much. You have also seen that she inherited my weapon spirit snake staff, and a high-level snake spirit beast is the most suitable for her." Hearing this, Xiao Wuji lowered his head and checked the places on the crested snake that Chao Tianxiang mentioned in his hand, and indeed saw wounds. However, it would be naive to want him to let go just because of this. He looked at Chao Tianxiang and sneered, "Senior, haven't you asked me your name yet?" Chao Tianxiang smiled slightly, "I am Chao Tianxiang. Thanks to my friends in the Soul Master world, I gave him the title of Snake Woman. My husband's name is Meng Shu, and he is known as Duke Long. This time I came to the Star Dou Forest to give us my granddaughter is looking for a suitable 3rd soul ring. I think the young man next to you doesn't seem to be able to absorb a 1,000-year soul ring. Even though the soul ring of the phoenix-tailed crested snake is milder, it's not something he can absorb. You are the senior snake lady among the unparalleled dragons and snakes." Xiao Wuji stopped Oscar, who wanted to argue, and said. Chao Tianxiang smiled lightly and said, "Exactly. Haven't you asked the name of Soul Saint yet?" Xiao Wuji's expression changed slightly and he said, "I am Xiao Wuji." Chao Tianxiang's expression also showed a hint of weirdness, and said, "No wonder, I said how could I meet such a powerful soul saint by chance. It turns out to be Fudo Ming King, who is famous in the Soul Master world. Xiao Wuji smiled and said, I don't dare to take it. In the next few years, I will live a secluded life and teach some students in a college. This time I brought these children to the Star Dou Forest. One is to obtain a soul ring for one of them, and the other is also for let's show them the world. Unexpectedly, we met our seniors here. Chapter 63 Soul Stealing Beast. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chao Tianxiang didn't want to get entangled with him anymore, so she cut to the chase and said, I'm a little older than you, so I'll ask you to be older. Brother Xiao, this 1,000-year-old crested snake is very important to my granddaughter. She just to reach level 30, you need a suitable soul ring. We discovered this crested snake before and wounded it, but accidentally let it escape. Can Brother Xiao please make it easier for us to take this snake? The soul beast is still with us. This love will definitely be engraved in my heart and I will repay it in the future. Sister Chao, I'm afraid this matter won't be easy to handle. Xiao Wuji said with an embarrassed look on his face. It's not that easy to get him to let go. As you can see, the student next to me has also reached the bottleneck of level 30, and the gentle soul ring of this phoenix-tailed crested snake is also a great help to him. What, you said he has also reached the bottleneck of level 30? Chao Tianxiang said in surprise, looking at Oscar in shock. She could naturally tell that Oscar was only 13 or 14 years old, and that he had entered the level 30 bottleneck at such a young age. Doesn't that mean that his talent was better than that of her granddaughter? Okay, you two should stop complimenting each other here. I can't stand it anymore. Just when Chao Tianxiang wanted to continue saying something, Tang Lu suddenly walked out and said impatiently. He ignored Chao Tianxiang's ugly look, and did not give the others a chance to speak. He continued, since none of us want to give up this cockscomb snake, let your granddaughter and one of our people there will be a competition among the officials, and whoever wins will get this crested snake. Hearing this, everyone present was stunned. But let's make an agreement first. The guy we want to absorb the soul ring is a food-type soul master and has no fighting ability. So we will send a 29 level 1 to fight your granddaughter. The 29 level 1 will beat your granddaughter 33 level, you won't suffer, right? Tang Lu looked at Chao Tianxiang and said, however, Chao Tianxiang did not look at him for the time being. Instead, she once again cast her surprised gaze on Oscar and said, young man, are you really a food-type soul master? That she was a food-type soul master who reached level 30 at the age of 14. Such talent made her a little excited. After seeing Oscar nod, the idea in her heart became stronger. Then, she remembered what Tang Lu said earlier. You said, among you, there is another person at level 29. Is it him? Chao Tianxiang subconsciously looked at the eldest Dai Mu. White. No, he is level 37. Those two are at level 29. Tang Lu said expressionlessly, and then pointed at Tang San and Xiao Wu. At this time Tang San also walked out, looked at Chao Tianxiang and said, Senior, why don't we follow what my brother said before and let us have a competition to decide who owns this phoenix-tailed cockscomb snake? Your granddaughter 3 level 10, and I am level 29, should be able to ensure that this competition is relatively fair. Hearing this, Chao Tianxiang couldn't help but hesitate a little and looked at Meng Yiran beside her. Meng Yiran understood the meaning in her eyes, so he said loudly, Grandma, promise them. Isn't it just a competition? Who is afraid of whom? Anyway, I will definitely not lose. After confirming her granddaughter's intention, Chao Tianxiang also looked at Xiao Wuji and said, since the children have agreed, let's have a competition. What do you think, Brother Xiao? Xiao Wuji nodded, couldn't help but look at Tang Lu with satisfaction, and said, then let's do it. The two of us will be the referee together, how about it? Okay. Chao Tianxiang nodded, then took a few steps back, leaving the place to Meng Yiran and Tang San. Tang San took a few steps forward, looked at Meng Yiran, and said, my name is Tang San, Martial Spirit Lan Yin Chao, 29th level 2nd ring Battle Spirit Master. After hearing about his martial spirit, Meng Yiran sneered with obvious disdain and said, Meng Yiran, Martial Spirit Snake Staff, 30 level 2nd ring Battle Spirit Master. At this time, Tang Lu shook his head slightly and said, when I heard about blue silver grass, I could only react with contempt, and I didn't even think about how terrifying a guy who could cultivate blue silver grass to the 29th level at the age of 12 was. No wonder so many people can't beat my brother. His voice was not loud, but it was just enough to be heard by the 7 monsters around him. Then everyone's expressions became a little weird. The battle was about to break out. Tang San came up and used his first soul skill to wrap up Mengyiran in layers, and also gave him the spikes of the blue-silver grass ghost vine. In Tang San's view, once the nerve-paralyzing poisonous blue-silver grass restrains the enemy, the game is equivalent to over. However, Mengyiran is also a poison user, not only immune to the poison on Tang San's blue-silver grass, but also her second soul skill, Snake Body, allows her to escape from the restraints of dense blue-silver grass like a snake. The middle slipped out. However, the spikes on Tang San's blue-silver grass really caused a lot of damage to Mengyiran's clothes. For a moment, he was so happy that Dai Mubai, Oscar, and Ma Hongjuan's eyes went straight. Tang Lu couldn't help but take a second look. After all, Mengyiran was not like the girls among the Shrek 7 monsters and was already relatively mature. Moreover, their appearance is not inferior to that of Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, Zhu Zhuqing and the others. As a result, Mengyiran was completely annoyed and immediately launched a fierce attack on Tang San. In the end, the battle turned into a collision of soul powers between the two. However, Mengyiran fell behind by one move and lost the game. With the help of everyone, Tang San walked aside and began to restore his soul power. Brother, eat it quickly. If my brother has a future, I will never forget you. Oscar handed Tang San a big recovery sausage and said with a wink. Tang San was so angry that he rolled his eyes at him, and was not polite to him. He took the big recovery sausage and ate it. I'm one of you, why are you talking about this? After saying that, he started to operate Xiantian Kung and began to restore his soul power. Tang Lu walked behind him and sat down cross-legged, then slowly injected his soul power into his body to help him restore his soul power. After all, their martial spirits came from the same source, and they were brothers connected by blood. So Tang San's soul power would not repel Tang Lu's. Tang San's Xiantian technique soul power was blue, while Tang Lu's soul power was the blue-black color of Haolon magic. As soon as the two souls merged, Tang Lu's blue-black soul power immediately turned into Tang San's blue Xiantian Gong soul power, which was very strange. At the same time, Tang Lu also opened his void spirit blue emperor domain, allowing the two people's soul power to recover more smoothly. On the other side, Chao Tianxiang was also restoring Mengyiran's soul power. Chapter 64 Promotion to Soul Lord. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhao Wuji looked at her and said with a smile, Sister Chao, what do you think? Chao Tianxiang said lightly, I am willing to admit defeat. If you lose, you lose. The 1,000-year-old crested snake is yours. However, I will remember what happened today. Zhao Wuji ignored her threat, turned to Oscar and said, Oscar, why are you so stunned? Hurry up. Oscar was overjoyed and hurriedly walked up to Zhao Wuji and used the short blade in his hand to finish off the crested snake. After the bright purple soul ring appeared, Oscar immediately began to absorb the soul ring non-stop. Zhao Wuji kept watching Chao Tianxiang to prevent her from making any changes. After helping Mengyiran recover his soul power, Chao Tianxiang took Mengyiran away, but before leaving, she did not forget to threaten Zhao Wuji. Similarly, Mengyiran also glared fiercely at Tang San and Tang Lu next to him. She didn't like Tang San who defeated her, and even less fond of Tang Lu who proposed a duel. After the two disappeared, Zhao Wuji secretly breathed a sigh of relief and began to concentrate on protecting Oscar. It took Oscar half an hour to absorb the spirit ring, while Tang San and Tang Lu were still cultivating. Congratulations, Xiao Ao. Zhao Wuji looked at Oscar who woke up and smiled lightly. Xiao Ao, congratulations, let us see what your third soul skill is. Dai Mubai walked over and said with a smile. Let's forget it. Originally Oscar looked energetic, but when the soul skills were mentioned, he suddenly said a little embarrassed. Come on, Xiao Ao, use it quickly and show it to us. Are you still afraid that we will laugh at you? Ma Hongjun also said. Okay, but you have to promise not to laugh. Oscar looked at them warily and said. Don't worry, we won't laugh at you. Dai Mubai said. Then let me start. Oscar glanced at them warily again, and then activated his third soul skill, I have a mushroom intestine. Upon hearing his soul spell, Dai Mubai and Ma Hongjun couldn't help but laugh. Then, after seeing the sausage made by Oscar's third soul skill that looked very familiar to them, they couldn't help laughing. Laughed out loud. Don't laugh. Why are you laughing? What about the one who promised not to laugh? Oscar's face was full of grief and anger. Okay, Xiao, tell me quickly what the effect of your third soul skill is. Zhao Wuji also walked over with a smile, patted Oscar on the shoulder and said. Humph, just laugh. From now on, no one else except Xiao San and Xiao Lu will eat my mushroom sausage. Oscar threatened first, and then revealed the effect of his third soul skill, the effect of this mushroom sausage is to fly. As soon as he said this, the laughter around him suddenly stopped and there was silence. Ning Rongrong, who had been silent all this time, couldn't help but cast her eyes on Oscar, slightly absent-minded. Even Zhu Zhuqing couldn't help but take another look at Oscar. Xiao, is the effect of your third soul skill really flying? Zhao Wuji couldn't help but ask in surprise, his eyes flashing with light. Yes, but it can only fly for 1 minute. Oscar nodded and said. The crowd immediately booed. If you didn't tell me earlier, my excitement would have been in vain. Dai Mu rolled his eyes at Oscar and said. If you can only fly for 1 minute, I'm afraid you won't be able to fly across a wider river or canyon. Ma Hongjun frowned and said, Xiao, your third soul skill is a bit useless. Ning Rongrong also looked away, feeling a little better, but then, Oscar's words surprised everyone again. Why are you so anxious? I haven't finished speaking yet. Oscar said, slightly dissatisfied. What's the matter with only being able to fly for 1 minute? What if this flying speed is calculated based on the speed of a crested snake? According to the speed of the crested snake. Zhao Wuji thought for a while and said, that means it can fly at least 2,000 meters in 1 minute. Not bad, not bad. Finally, the effort was not in vain. He said with a smile, patting Oscar's shoulder, obviously very satisfied with Oscar's third soul skill. Since the effect is so good, what about the consumption of soul power? Oscar thought for a while and said, mushroom intestines consume more soul power than the first two. In my current situation, I can only make 10 at most at one time. After that, my soul power will be exhausted. I must use all my soul power. It can only be made again after recovery. 10 is enough. Moreover, as your soul power increases, this number will increase. Now, your sausage martial soul can be classified as a powerful auxiliary martial soul. Okay. Okay, everyone, get ready. When Xiao San and Xiao Lu wake up from their training, we will leave here and return to the academy immediately. Zhao Wuji said with a satisfied look on his face. No, we will stay here for a while. At this time, Tang Lu's voice came over. Everyone looked at him and found that he had woken up from assisting Tang San in his cultivation. He stood up and said. My brother is already level 30. It's not too late to help him obtain a soul ring before leaving. Tang Lu's words resolved everyone's doubts. At this moment, Tang San also woke up and said with a smile, yes, my soul power has also exceeded level 30. Teacher Xiao, why don't you help me get the third soul ring first, and then return to the academy? At this time, when he said these words, everyone around him was stunned. Fortunately, since Tang Lu, the jewel, was in front of them, it was much easier for everyone to accept Tang San, the 12-year-old soul master. Zhao Wuji suddenly looked at Tang San seriously and said, tell me how old you are this year, accurate to the month. Tang San said without hesitation, 12 years and 7 months. Zhao Wuji nodded and looked at the others. You have all seen it, especially those who have not yet reached level 30. Tang San is as old as you, but he is about to enter another level now. 12 years and 7 months old, I think this record will remain on the record of Shrek Academy forever. And me, I'm 20 minutes younger than my brother, but I'm already a soul master. Tang Lu said a little unconvinced at this time. I'm the fastest to break through level 30, okay? Good. Although this record in Shrek Academy will soon be broken by Xiao Wu, this does not prevent him from satisfying his vanity first. What's more, he is currently the youngest soul sect on the mainland. Hearing this, Dai Mubai didn't want to talk to them anymore. Are all the people in Tang San's family monsters among monsters? Chapter 65 Special Effects in the Field. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Don't worry, your record has long been recorded by the Dean himself, and it is estimated that it will be difficult for anyone to break it in the past. After saying this, Zhao Wuji looked at Tang Lu with a strange look. Hearing this, Tang Lu was stunned for a moment, and then he understood what Zhao Wuji was talking about. Tang Hao probably told Flender and Zhao Wuji that he was already a soul sect. Okay. You, a guy who was born with so much more soul power than me, have only just cultivated to soul master, don't you think it's a little slow? Tang San touched Tang Lu's head and said with a smile. That's just what you see on the surface. Tang Lu was unconvinced and crossed his arms. The few people around except Xiao Wu suddenly felt that they were all in bad condition. Have you just cultivated to soul master? Don't you think it's a little slow? You are such a ghost, you are such a slow brother-in-law. You are so pretentious, why don't people live? However, if they knew that Tang Lu actually had innate soul power of level 20, they would probably feel that Tang Lu was very slow in his cultivation. Brother, congratulations, I will catch up with you as soon as possible. Xiao Wu hugged Tang San's arm and smiled in his ear. A trace of ambiguity flashed across Tang Lu's face, and he quickly left the two of them to avoid being stuffed with dog food. By the way, will I have a girlfriend in Douluo continent? If so, who should I choose? Okay, let's take a break first and then go find a suitable soul beast for Xiao San. Zhao Wuji said with a slight smile. Of course, he did not let everyone rest where they were. Instead, he led a few people to move a certain distance in the forest. He was probably afraid that the snake lady Chao Tianxiang would come back with Duke Long to find a place. In this way, everyone stayed in the Star Dou forest for 2 days, but they couldn't find a soul beast suitable for Tang San. Tang Lu, who knew the plot, was not anxious at all and just waited for the Titan giant ape to come over. Speaking of which, I will always add soul rings to the clear sky hammer in the future. I always feel that it would be a waste if I only add 10,000 years. Otherwise, copy Huoguo's model and make all the clear sky hammers have 100,000 year level. Soul ring. Thinking of the Titan giant ape, Tang Lu thought of his second martial spirit, the clear sky hammer. The clear sky hammer is a power-type martial spirit. If you want to make it powerful, you can only add a spirit beast with the same power attribute, and Tang Lu didn't want to waste the clear sky hammer's soul ring position, so he naturally wanted to attach all of the clear sky hammer's soul rings to 100,000 years. Moreover, speaking of copying Huoguo's model, in fact, Tang Lu's number 1 spirit, the Void Spirit Blue Silver Emperor, also copied Huoguo's spirit ring ratio, except that his first soul ring was 100 years old. Instead of 1,000,000 years old, his second and third soul rings were both the same age as Hui Yuhao. Am I going to attack Mr. Xiong? However, attacking Mr. Xiong means that I have to face a series of murderers such as Di Tian and even the Silver Dragon King. It's not cost-effective. Douluo continent is so big, it's impossible for their ferocious beasts to be the only ones that are 100,000 years old, right? When they become stronger in the future, we can go around the mainland and look for them. Time passed gradually, and night fell in the forest. The male students began to set up tents, while the female students were responsible for getting some food. As for Tang Lu and Oscar, they were excluded by Tang San, Dai Mubai and Ma Hongjun, and were asked to follow the girls to find food. After a simple dinner, Zhao Wuji asked everyone to go into the tent to practice. And he himself took on the task of keeping vigil. Of course, he didn't forget to stop Tang San, communicate with him, and comfort him not to be anxious. Inside the tent, except for Tang Lu, everyone else was already sitting cross-legged and entering the cultivation state. Although Tang Lu also closed his eyes, he did not practice. Instead, he opened his Void Spirit Blue Emperor domain, used the effect of contact, gradually extended his thoughts, and paid attention to the movements around him. Although the Void Spirit Blue Emperor domain only has 5 effects, each one is undoubtedly very useful to Tang Lu. For example, the stimulating effect of the Void Spirit Blue Emperor domain can promote the growth of blue silver grass. And when this effect is applied to the Soul Master, it becomes an increase in all attributes. Now Tang Lu is using the special connection effect of the Void Spirit Blue Emperor domain, which can connect his mental power with the blue silver grass, making the blue silver grass his eyes and ears. Moreover, this special effect is not limited by the scope of the field. As long as the distance between each blue-silver grass is close enough, theoretically his spiritual power can spread to the entire Douluo continent. As for whether the contact special effects can be used on soul masters, Tang Lu hasn't tried it yet. Among the remaining 3 effects of regeneration, hidden breath and imperial power, only the special effect of imperial power has not yet been figured out by Tang Lu. When asking the system, he said, "Please explore by yourself as much as possible." When the host really has no direction, the system answers will be given. Regeneration is the quick repair of wounds and the like, and it even has an amplifying effect on the recovery of soul power. To hide his breath is to hide his aura, allowing him to turn into blue-silver grass or other plants in the perception of others, and completely integrate into the world. According to Huang Wei, one of the effects currently discovered by Tang Lu should be attribute weakening, and the specifics have yet to be developed. Maintaining the special effect of contact like this, Tang Lu soon felt the Titan giant ape. In fact, it is very simple, because in his perception, the blue-silver grass in a certain direction sent him an emotion of fear almost at the same time, and the next moment, his connection with those blue-silver grass was severed. The majestic power of the Titan giant ape actually cut off his mental connection with blue-silver grass. Inside the tent, Tang Lu opened his eyes in an instant, a glimmer of light flashed in his eyes, then he quietly stood up and walked out of the tent. At this time, Xiao Wuji's shout also rang out, waking up everyone who was practicing. "Everyone get out of the tent." Then, several people headed by Dai Mubai walked out of the tent following Tang Lu. Tang Lu and Xiao Wu immediately came to stand next to Tang San. Tang Lu glanced at Xiao Wu and found that she looked a little uneasy. He probably felt the aura of the Titan giant ape Er Ming. With a roll of his eyes, Tang Lu seemed to have thought of something. Seeing Xiao Wu holding Tang San's hand, and then gently hooking her lips, she also held Tang San's hand. At the same time, a blue-black light flashed across the soles of her feet without anyone noticing. At this time, a Haolan mark had passed through Tang San's body and landed on Xiao Wu. Tang Lu touched Tang San's skin, and Xiao Wu also had contact with Tang San's skin, so one of the marking conditions of the Haolan mark, the indirect skin contact condition, was met. Chapter 67 Fighting the Titan Giant Ape. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This is your move I've been waiting for. Seeing the moment when the black air wave was about to lift everyone away, Tang Lu's 10,000-year soul ring lit up, the third soul skill, the protection of virtual spirits. 95% immunity to damage effects and an additional 60% damage immunity bonus. It affects everyone instantly. As a result, the 9 people who were supposed to be blown away by the Titan ape remained motionless in the majestic black air wave. Seeing that his attacks had no effect on these little things that could be easily killed, the Titan ape couldn't help but be a little confused for a moment. However, it was stunned. Shrek's people had not yet launched another wave of attacks at it. The Titan ape roared, and then punched the ground. The earth let out a mournful cry under its terrifying power, and then a large amount of earth and rock splashed out, knocking everyone away. Even Xiao Wuji, who had activated his martial spirit true form, was stunned by the sight of the Titan giant ape. It flew away with a seemingly random punch. This is the strength of the king of the forest, the true power of the 100,000-year-old Titan. The Titan ape's attack was too sudden, so Tang Lu only had time to release the ethereal protection once more, barely protecting everyone from being harmed by the shock and preventing everyone from being injured by flying earth and rocks, but he couldn't let them in. The figure that was flying upside down stopped under the force of the earthquake, but apart from him, the others were also working hard to avoid being hurt by the earth and rocks as much as possible. The first is Tang San. Tang San's blue-silver grass has undoubtedly become extremely useful in this situation. The blue-silver grass spread out as much as possible, first wrapping around Xiao Wu, Tang Lu, Oscar, Ning Rongrong and Ma Hongjun who were closest to them, and then with one force, they pulled everyone together. Then, the blue-silver grass grew rapidly again, entangled in front of several people, and finally turned into a big net, blocking all the earth and rocks outside. At the same time, a lot of blue-silver grass grew behind them. After wrapping them tightly, they fell heavily to the ground. Due to the dual protection of the void spirit and the blue-silver grass, everyone only felt a little dizzy, but there was no other serious problem. On the other side, Dai Mubai was closest to Zhu Zhuqing and hugged her directly. The White Tiger Protective Barrier and White Tiger Vajra Transformation were activated at the same time, raising his defense to the highest level. He used his back to bear all the earth and rocks. When the two of them were about to land, Dai Mubai held Zhu Zhuqing and turned around again, using his back to bear all the recoil force. Fortunately, he had this ethereal protection, otherwise he would definitely be seriously injured and vomit blood. Immediately afterwards, Zhao Wuji, who was the first to stabilize his body, also came over. Wu Hunzhen's huge body blocked all the remaining earth and rocks for the two of them, but before everyone could take a breath, the Titan giant ape jumped up high and flew towards everyone at a speed that was difficult to distinguish with the naked eye. Although everyone was knocked away by the Titan ape's punch just now, they were actually standing relatively close to each other. If he were hit by the Titan giant ape, he would probably be wiped out on the spot. Therefore, Tang San immediately controlled the blue-silver grass and threw away Tang Lu, Xiao Wu, Oscar, Ning Rongrong and Ma Hongjun, and then he also used a blue rope tied to Tang Lu and himself in advance. Silver Grass pulled himself out of the Titan ape's attack range. On the other side, Zhao Wuji did not dare to lift him up. After holding up Dai Mubai and Zhu Zhuqing on the ground with his bare paws, he flew forward and avoided the Titan ape in a panic. Boom! That when the Titan giant ape landed, everyone was temporarily deafened by the violent roar, and their spirits were in a trance. Taking advantage of everyone's daze for a few seconds, the Titan giant ape grabbed Xiao Wu on the ground, then jumped up, reaching 100 meters away in an instant, and then disappeared into the night forest. No, Xiao Wu. The moment Tang San came back to his senses, it was the moment the Titan giant ape grabbed Xiao Wu and took off. His eyes turned red instantly, but he could do nothing. Zhao Wuji's spirit avatar was also released, and he came over with Dai Mubai and Zhu Zhuqing. The Titan ape's movements were too fast, and even he couldn't save Xiao Wu in that situation. Moreover, his soul power is almost exhausted now, so it is obviously unrealistic to catch up. What's more, this is the home of the Titan ape, so it's extremely difficult to find it. Take a rest, let's leave here first. Tang San, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Zhao Wuji sighed and said to Tang San. Tang San lowered his head so that no one could see his expression. It's okay, Teacher Zhao, I don't blame you, it's all because I didn't protect Xiao Wu. Hey, you all should recover your soul power as soon as possible. Due to the pressure of the Titan giant ape, no other soul beasts will visit here for a long time. Zhao Wuji sighed again, and then walked silently while recovering his soul power. The rest of the people also silently began to restore their soul power. Losing a teammate is undoubtedly a severe blow to them. Everyone is in a heavy mood, of course, except Tang Lu who knew the truth. His solemn expression at the moment was for something else. The soul skills he has currently added are all paving the way for the future, but now, in group battles, he only has a third soul skill that has the greatest effect on his teammates. The first two soul skills are dispensable, and at most they are not useful to him. It's very practical for me. Did I go the wrong way? After all, even Ning Rongrong's current single attribute increase is more effective for his teammates than his invisibility. Perhaps his first soul skill, virtualization, is very strong, but after all, it is only a single soul skill and has too many limitations. There must be some way to solve it. He followed Tang San to Oscar's side silently. At this moment, Tang San's subtle voice sounded in his ears. Xiao Lu, listen to my instructions later, and you will add the control of the ethereal spirit and the concealment of the ethereal spirit to me. After hearing Tang San's voiced words, Tang Lu also understood in his heart that he was going to leave alone to find Xiao Wu. On the other side, Oscar was also stunned for a moment, and also heard Tang San's voice. After a moment, he sighed and then started making mushroom sausage. There was no way to hide the sound of his soul-moving spell. Therefore, everyone's eyes fell on him almost instantly. Xiao Ao, what are you doing? Ning Rongrong, who was being supported by him, exclaimed, but it was already too late. Tang San's voice sounded again, Xiao Lu. Tang Lu understood, and the Void Spirit's control and Void Spirit's hide instantly fell on Tang San. Chapter 68 Tracking Xiao Wu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the moment of becoming invisible, Tang San also quickly took the mushroom sausage made by Oscar and ate it. Before anyone could react, Tang San had already flown into the sky. Xiao Wuji reacted the fastest and directly released a gravity squeeze in the sky, trying to keep Tang San. However, because Tang San has the protection of the Void Spirit control, he is not affected by his soul skills. However, Tang Lu still took the initiative to remove the Void Spirit hide on Tang San so that Ning Rongrong could increase his speed, revealing his figure. Tang San thought he was out of hiding due to Xiao Wuji's attack. Without thinking much, he looked at the people below and said, I'm sorry, Teacher Xiao, I'm going to find her, even if I only find her corpse. The 7 treasures are famous, and the second one says, speed. Ning Rongrong's clear voice also sounded at this time, and the light of increased speed instantly fell on Tang San. Xiao San, go ahead, I support you. I have increased my soul power output, and the speed increasing effect should last for 1 minute after leaving my soul power range. You must find Xiao Wu, she is also my roommate. Ning Rongrong ignored Xiao Wuji's murderous gaze and said to Tang San. Tang San didn't say anything more, looked at her deeply, and then flew towards the direction where the Titan ape disappeared at high speed, disappearing into the night in the blink of an eye. You guys. Xiao Wuji looked at Oscar and Ning Rongrong and was so angry that he couldn't speak. Oscar smiled bitterly and said, Teacher Xiao, you have also seen Xiao San's eyes. If we don't let him go, I'm afraid he will chase after him even if he leaves. I can understand his mood. If you want to blame me. Xiao Wuji roared angrily, weird. What's so weird? Why don't you hurry up and get your mushroom sausage out for me? Since we're going after you, let's go together. If you want to die, let's die together. Whoever doesn't want to go, just go get out of the Star Dou forest. As soon as these words came out, the expressions of the remaining 6 monsters suddenly became determined. However, Tang Lu's movements were faster than them. After hearing what Xiao Wuji said, Tang Lu cast the Void Spirit hide on himself, and then said, in that case, I will take the first step. As soon as he finished speaking, he switched to his third martial spirit, Howlon spell, and then ran at full speed in the direction Tang San left. It doesn't matter how Xiao Wuji and the other 6 monsters feel, for circles of blue-black soul rings rose gradually, and then, the blue-black soul ring at the end of the array began to shine. Wuhuan 3, Howlon spell, soul ring 4, skill, Howlon restoration, specify any 4, can be promoted, units within 150, can be promoted, meters of yourself, and instantly restore their physical strength, soul power, mental power, etc. to full. The target unit's current, the worse the state, the more soul power is consumed. You can use this skill on yourself 4 times, can be upgraded, without any consumption within a day. After the number of times is used up, the skill will not be available for you within 24 hours, after the 4th time on the same day is fully used up, start counting. If the number of times has not been consumed in the same day, the number of uses will be refreshed at 0 o'clock. If your soul power is less than 40% of your maximum soul power, this skill cannot be used on others. His body instantly shone with blue-black light, but due to the hiding place of the Void Spirit and the fact that he had run far away, no one could see it. After restoring his condition to its peak, Tang Lu activated his Howlon teleportation, and the destination of the teleportation, it's Xiao Wu. The blue-black light flashed, and the scene in front of him suddenly changed. At the same time, more than half of Tang Lu's soul power was consumed in an instant, so, without any hesitation, he released Howlon Fu Yuan on himself again. The soul power is full again. The moment he appeared here was also the moment the Titan giant ape roared to drive away the soul beast. He patted his chest, Xiao Fu and I, who had been trembling since the moment the Titan giant ape appeared, withdrew his martial spirit, and then Tang Lu showed his body. In fact, the Titan ape had already discovered him the moment he appeared. However, due to Xiao Wu, the Titan giant ape just looked at him warily and made no move. Xiao Lu Yu. When Xiao Wu saw his appearance, her expression was surprised at first, and then turned ugly. Tang Lu knew what he was thinking, so he said aloud, "Don't be nervous, Sister Xiao Wu. You are going to be my future sister-in-law." After hearing what he said, Xiao Wu calmed down, looked at him with a somewhat lonely expression, and said, "You know." Tang Lu smiled, neither denying nor confirming, but said, "My father is a titled Douluo." Hearing this, Xiao Wu's expression became even more ugly. The mountain-like Titan ape on one side sensed Xiao Wu's sad mood, let out a low cry, and was about to attack Tang Lu. Ming, don't hurt him." Xiao Wu stopped him quickly. It was at this time that Tang Lu Kai continued, "But, my mother was also transformed from a 100,000-year-old soul beast." After hearing what he said, Xiao Wu immediately raised her head and looked at him blankly for a long time before speaking out, "You mean?" Tang Lu smiled and nodded, giving her a definite answer, "Yes, my brother and I both have one-half soul beast blood in our bodies. Moreover, my father has nothing against you too." Xiao Wu instantly raised her hand to cover her red lips and looked at him in disbelief. Her face suddenly turned red. "What are you talking about? I don't like mistresses." After hearing what Tang Lu said, Xiao Wu's heart was filled with secret joy, but she still said this. "It's okay, I will always like you in the future anyway. You don't know, my brother almost went crazy after seeing you being captured by it. Do you know? Now that we are away from Teacher Xiao, they are looking for you." Tang Lu deliberately to take things a step further, he unceremoniously gave his elder brother points in front of his foreign sister-in-law. "Third brother, will he be okay?" Xiao Wu couldn't help but worry about Tang San's safety when she heard that Tang San actually ate mushroom sausage and came to look for her alone. "Don't worry, those who can't die can still get his third soul ring." Tang Lu shook his head and said, "It's up to you to quickly complete the condensation of the third soul ring, and then you can go find him." Xiao Wu nodded, and then sat down cross-legged, ready to start condensing the third soul ring for herself. "By the way, Sister Xiao Wu, don't tell my brother what I just told you, okay?" Tang Lu finally explained. Xiao Wu nodded, then closed her eyes and started practicing. Tang Lu looked at the Titan giant ape who was looking at him curiously, and then said the purpose of his coming. "Titan giant ape, besides you, are there any other powerful 100,000-year soul beasts in the Star Dou forest?" Chapter 69. Isn't it the duty of a younger brother to cheat his brother? You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Titan ape looked at him quietly for a while, and then said, "My name is Ming." Xiao Wu said that when meeting someone, he should say his name first. Tang Lu couldn't help but smile when he heard his rumbling voice, and then said, "Hello, Ming, my name is Tang Lu." "Hello." The Titan ape sat down on the ground, and then stretched out his hand to him. Tang Lu stood on its palm, not afraid that the Titan giant ape would suddenly turn against him. "You have an aura that I like very much." The Titan ape lifted him up to his eyes and said. Tang Lu thought for a while and felt that it should be the reason for his Haolan magic spirit. After all, Xiao Funi decided to follow him because of his third martial spirit. "I think you are talking about my martial spirit." Tang Lu replied, and then released his Haolan spell. The Titan ape's huge eyes looked seriously at the 4 blue-black soul rings rising at Tang Lu's feet, and then said aloud, "You are also a soul beast." Its tone was so sure that Tang Lu couldn't help but be stunned. After a while, he spoke out, "Although my mother is a human who took the form of a 100,000-year-old soul beast, and I also have one-half of the soul beast's bloodline in my body, I am indeed a human." The Titan giant ape shook his head, and then said, "You can cultivate a soul ring by yourself, and you are also a soul beast. If someone else kills you, you will also produce soul rings and soul bones, just like me, Ming, and just like Sister Xiao Wu." Hearing this, Tang Lu was stunned again, because he found that he had no way to refute the Titan ape's words. Moreover, he also remembered the system's description of his third martial spirit. The strange combination and evolution of the two martial souls of the Blue Silver Emperor and the Clear Sky Hammer seem to have some of the characteristics of the Soul Beasts and the unparalleled attack power of the Clear Sky Hammer, as well as a powerful and mysterious force that seems to come from another world. Some of the characteristics of Soul Beasts. Doesn't that mean that my third martial soul can cultivate a soul ring on its own like a transformed soul beast? Perhaps, you are right. Soul beasts will be soul beasts. As long as I don't give others the chance to kill me, they will never get my soul ring and soul bones. Tang Lu accepted these things. It was done very quickly, without any mental burden. Anyway, I wish I were human now. You also have 100,000-year soul beast with you. Little Forney couldn't hide himself from the eyes of the Forest King, so he climbed out on his own initiative. Tang Lu felt its movement, so he took it out. Little Forney almost shrank into a ball in Tang Lu's hand, and said to the Titan Ape tremblingly, "Hello, respected king of the forest." The Titan Ape is not so good-tempered towards people or beasts that are unfamiliar to Xiao Wu. Li Du ignored Xiao Funi and continued talking to Tang Lu. "Why is it on you?" "Because it said that by following me, you can quickly cultivate to 200,000 years. Moreover, it also wants to see the human world." Tang Lu answered truthfully. After all, he knew that the Titan Ape Erming had a good heart. Cultivation to 200,000 years. Tang Lu clearly sensed the disdain in the Forest King's expression and tone. However, he didn't explain anything, so as not to get into unnecessary trouble again. After stuffing Little Funi into his clothes again, he asked the question he asked at the beginning, "Ming, besides you, are there any other 100,000-year power soul beasts in this Star Dou forest?" Ming got a little closer, his tone changed slightly, and said, "Do you want to kill 100,000-year soul beast to get 100,000-year soul ring?" Tang Lu's expression remained calm, as if he didn't hear the threat in the Titan Ape's tone, and said, "Look at my current strength, can I kill 100,000-year soul beast? Moreover, I can't bear it now. 100,000-year soul ring." After a few seconds of silence, the Titan Ape made a new move. The huge head moved away for a few minutes and said, "No more." "Then do you know where it might be?" Tang Lu continued to ask. The Titan Ape shook his head and said, "I don't know." "Okay." Tang Lu was not disappointed. After all, this system still has the trump card. "I have finished asking questions, so I will leave first. You protect Sister Xiao Wu well, and when she wakes up, you let her hurry and find my brother." After Tang Lu finished speaking, he wanted to teleport away. But at this time, I heard the anxious voice of the Titan Ape. "You just said that Sister Xiao Wu is your future sister-in-law. What does that mean?" For a moment, Tang Lu suddenly remembered that Ming, the Titan Ape in front of him, and Ming, the Azure Bull Python in the fierce place of the Star Dou forest, both liked Xiao Wu, so, he smiled and said, Ming, what sister-in-law means is that after Xiao Wu and Ming are together, you will call Sister Xiao Wu sister-in-law." Hearing this, the Titan Giant Ape was stunned for a moment. He looked quite good like that. It shook its head violently, without thinking deeply about why Tang Lu knew about Ming's existence, and said, "No, Sister Xiao Wu can't be with Ming." Tang Lu was so happy that he said, "Don't worry, Xiao Wu will not be with Ming, but will be with my brother in the future, so I will call her sister-in-law." The Titan Giant Ape was stunned again, and then said, "Who is your brother? I'm going to catch him. I can't let Xiao Wu be with him." Tang Lu almost laughed out loud, but luckily he held it back and said, "Don't worry, Ming, you will see him in about 8 to 10 years. Do you remember his appearance? He has blue hair. He has long, beautiful hair and is extremely handsome, and Xiao Wu will be waiting for him by the lake at your house. Then don't be polite to me and give him a good beating." "Okay, I remember his appearance. 10 years and 8 years are not long, and it will come as soon as I wake up. When the time comes, I will give him a good beating. Then I will capture him and hide him in my lake. He is not allowed to be with Sister Xiao Wu in the hole by the side." The Titan Giant Ape said with great seriousness. Tang Lu said that he could hardly help but laugh, and said reluctantly, "Okay, I support you, come on." "Well, Tang Lu, we will be friends from now on. The Titan giant ape looked at Tang Lu with a sincere and serious look in his eyes. Hearing this, Tang Lu also became serious, and then said, "Okay, Ming, we will be good friends from now on." "Well, good friend." The Titan ape nodded heavily and said, "Well, I'm leaving then. Remember to tell Sister Xiao to come and join us as soon as possible." Tang Lu instructed. "Okay, goodbye friends," said the Titan ape. "Goodbye, see you soon." After saying this, Tang Lu teleported away. This time, it was teleported directly to Tang San.